Yo, you know what it is, your boy DJ Filthy Rich.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Big X.
And this is the We Outside Show, We Outside Radio. And today's guest is the one and only super producer, Mr. Hanky.
Hey, what's happening, man? Happy to be here, man.
What's good, brother?
Hey, man, you know, we've been rocking for a minute, man, so this gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, I want to say 8-time legend, but shit, you still building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Living legend. You know
Living
what I mean?
legend. There we go.
Hey, man, appreciate that.
It's all good. So, yeah, like you said, we kick it. So this ain't going to be no uptight interview. We just going to kick it and talk our trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let the people know what's going on with you because you don't really do a lot of press, bruh.
Nah, I do it when it makes sense, man, because, we were just talking about that, a lot of times, man, people just, I don't know, they just overdoing it sometimes, man. So it be draining just to watch it, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I kind of do it when it makes sense.
Cool. So it makes sense now because we were talking off camera. You have a project that you're working on for yourself.
Yeah. I'm starting to put out my own projects, compilation with, some major artists and some up-and-coming artists that I really believe in. So, yeah, I think it's time for that, man.
So you starting your own label?
Yeah, I got my own label. It's called Cultural Resources. And I'm, looking at a couple of artists. I got one with me right now, Karma Rose over here.
Okay.
So y'all gonna be hearing a lot of new stuff from her real soon.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm bringing to y'all first new music money, all that, the whole nine.
We like that plug. We like that.
You know what I mean?
Sound good.
Dope. So we got a lot of people that may be new to you or they've really been jamming to you for a minute and probably just didn't even know that you were making these beats. So the first one I think that got you popularity was it the California record or was it something before that?
Oh man, it was a whole nother era before then. Yeah.
So take us back to the beginning.
So now the beginning for me, man, starts out with my homie Collar Part. I started out with them producing under them with the label Collar Part Music. So a lot of the earlier Soulja Boy records, Shopping Spree with Gucci and Yo Gotti. Just really, honestly, just putting that first album together, especially that second album with Gucci Bandana, Kiss Me Through the Phone, Turn My Swag On, literally recorded that whole album. You know what I'm saying? Just really instrumental in that. Hurricane Chris, and then my first major placement was with Jeezy, the record What You Talking About. Went kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then really what started really around that time, I started working with J Money during the whole futuristic era.
First name, last name.
Yeah. First name, last name.
Futuristic.
Say Bow with VIC. Then we did the Wobble record. And that what that did. So
Wait, Wobble was you too?
I was part of that whole thing. It was cool. It was cool. It's like it was just a big old party.
Yeah.
Wobble, you could hear it in the music. It was just a big old party. But then came Walk Around the Club, Fuck Everybody. That went crazy. And I did a record with Lil Chucky called The WAP when he was still with Young Money. And then a little bit after that, that's when the California came. Then Luke Nasty, that whole era came through. Then we did a little Duval record, Living My Best Life. I'm missing a whole bunch of them right now, but
Yeah, you skipped a few.
I skipped a lot of them.
Yeah, but that's a lot. The ones
That's a lot.
You dropped a lot of haymakers though.
Yeah. I'm trying to. It's crazy. I got to start writing it down. That's a crazy thing to forget your own records. But then came the City Girls records. Right after the pandemic, came with Twerkulator. Then Good Love currently with Usher. So yeah. A lot of mixtapes. A lot of mixtapes.
So that's the difference between a producer and a super producer, guys. You know what I mean? When your resume is like that, you just keep throwing haymakers and haymakers. That's a super producer.
You forget a lot of them, man. And this, I apologize to any artists I forgot, man. But it's been a while.
Because I was going back and you was talking about Wobble, right? And I was thinking about when Wobble first came out as a DJ. Everybody didn't necessarily just jump on that record when it first came out.
Not at all.
Like that record kind of took a year and nobody was really pushing it, and it was kind of like, and I know you was kind of like you said you was a part of it. What kind of made that record take off?
Oh man, it was
Big
just,
girls.
Yeah, man, it was just like I said, that was during the College Park days, and man, we'll go in the studio, man, and just it was a party, man. Like matter of fact, we just left from that studio. And it was the same kind of, vibe, just everybody in there just vibing and whatnot. But it was a lot of Patron. A lot of big girls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't look Patron and big girls. You got a party. That's it. You can't go wrong.
So, like working with College Park, which is AKA DJ Smurf, he comes from, like, he's legendary here in Atlanta. What was one of the biggest things you took from working with a legend like College Park?
Mainly, man, it was just work ethic, man, and not necessarily get caught up in the hype of stuff, you know, because a lot of times as a producer, we don't necessarily, you know, these artists, they come and they blow up and, you know, they go to the Breakfast Club and they, you know, they get, you know, they say they did the song themselves, you know,
Right.
the whole nine, you know, so they're totally responsible for everything, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? So if you're not focused and, you know what I'm saying, that'll really eat at you, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you just kind of learn to just keep working, man. Do the work and forget about it, and it'll work out. Yeah.
I want to speak to that. So you're right. I do notice that. Like a lot of artists, it's all about them. Not disrespect to the artists, but they always forget about the producer. Like I remember somebody saying one time, it's kind of like the DJs. Like, and we go in there, we're like, yo, if we cut the music off, you can have all the girls you want here, but it ain't no party. I think the artists forget, like, without these beats, bro, it ain't no song.
Right.
So is there a part of you that feels like I said, you don't do a lot of press. You know what I mean? So I know you have your tags in your beats, which I think is always good.
You got to do that.
You know what I mean? I was going to say, is there any other things that you want to tell producers so they make sure they do get their shine? Because the artists will forget about you.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I would love to do press with the actual artists, you know. That would actually make a lot of goddamn sense that we are doing the songs together, but, you know, you're in the trenches together doing it when they ain't got a record, you know,
Right.
and they struggling, and you a lot of times you write and produce and put the whole thing out, and y'all know I work my records, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So you do all of that, and then when the shit blow, you know, you got to look at it on the Breakfast Club. You're like, damn, that nigga did the Breakfast Club.
You ain't even getting a phone call or nothing.
And then,
you like,
then they do the Breakfast Club and don't mention you.
don't mention your name. They give the hairstylist,
The weed man.
the weed man. Everybody get a shout out. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's why we kind of biased with our show too, because I know a lot of times, because we're DJs, a lot of times I might say like, well, who's your tour DJ? Shout them out. Or who produced the record? You know what I mean? Sometimes some people be like, oh man, I can't remember who produced that song. And I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
It should be wild, don't it?
it is crazy.
It's really wild. It's really wild. So,
Because you was loving that beat in the studio.
yeah. I mean, and this is, you know, I get it, man, because, you know, I don't know if it's labels telling them or if it's just the artist. You never know. You know, it is what it is. Because we all know, and this most of the time, if you're not a part of the situation and they can't monetize off of it, you know, it is what it is. I get it, but it's wild, man. It's really wild.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I just find it funny they just forget you. You know what I mean? Like, we hung out doing the record, we recorded the record, we had all these moments doing the recordings, and then now the record blew up, and now
It's wild, man.
you don't even remember me.
Yeah, I mean, they remember you because they need another record, you know?
No, they don't remember you till they need another
Oh,
record.
yeah.
Does the price go up when they come back?
Oh, it's not the same price.
Nah.
Yesterday's prices.
I mean, I ain't never really had no problem with that part of it, man. But
Yeah.
you know, it's just, you know,
Respect.
yeah, I think it's that. But you know, I would rather do press when it counts. You know, we all did the record together. We all a part of it. We all should at least do one major.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, because I want to, every time I see you, and I be at New Music Monday, being a fellow producer myself, I wanted to ask you this. When you found that wave, when you did the Colonel Loud record, right? The Maze record. Was that the point where you can really say you found the Mr. Hanky lane?
Some people, like, it depends on, like, during that Travis Porter era, a lot of people say it was that. It just depends on who you ask, you know what I'm saying? Because
I identify with that, like from I've been knowing you for a while, so
Right.
I know all the stuff you did with College Park,
Right.
But for me, the Mr. Hanky for me was like the identifier was Colonel Loud. From that point, that was your sound because I seen everybody kind of try to copy your wave,
man.
and everything. So at that point, I was like, oh, they really trying to do Mr. Hanky.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, because you can say that because even then at that time, man, like people was like, man, that's a sample, man. You shouldn't do no samples. You shouldn't do no samples. And even to this day, man, you know, people be like, man, the artists don't want no samples. They don't want this and that third. And then they come out with a sample.
Yeah.
But samples are only things that's familiar, though. That's what people don't understand. Like, even when, that's why sampling was so big in hip-hop in the early 90s, because all we did was sample hits.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a part, because I used to be a DJ as well, so I get it, you know what I'm saying, to where, you know, like y'all in the club, y'all got to, you know, keep the money flowing in the club. So you take that same element, that same, you know, that same mindset and put it toward making records.
Right. So when you went in the studio with Lil Duval, right, and y'all got ready to make that record, and I was just imagining the vibe you had being a producer, right? Mm. And this is a comedian. Mm-hmm. You don't never know when he's serious. So,
but Duval's an artist too. I gotta give him that, because I think he might be the first. Was he the first comedian that? But not counting Eddie Murphy. Not counting Eddie Murphy.
Right.
But consistently was making records for real, right?
Right.
For a minute.
Well, honestly, this is crazy. I didn't know he was doing records before we even met.
Oh, you didn't? You never heard of them old them songs?
No, I just, you know, I knew him from the silly stuff he would do on the internet.
Yeah,
so.
and that's why I was asking you that, like, as a producer, going into making Smile, right? How did you take him serious to give him a beat to go, this could be a hit record?
So y'all know Bebe out of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Yeah, so Bebe, I've known Bebe since the Hurricane Chris days. You know what I'm saying? Because Bebe, the song was about him.
Right.
And so he hit me up. He wanted to do a song with Zero and release it on 420.
Right.
So to that point, I had never met Duval. This is like 2018. He's like, man, I want to get Duval to do the intro. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. So I had already done the record with Zero. We got in the studio to do the intro with Duval. It took all about 15, maybe 20 seconds. And next thing you know, he pulled out his phone and did the Smile skit on Instagram, like right there in my face. I was like, oh, that's how you be doing this. But it was so funny because he just did it, like right there. So I'm on the floor laughing like, this nigga really doing this.
Wait,
like,
so was the skit like the melody and everything, or he was just saying it?
No, you know, he was doing that like on what, Fridays or something?
Yeah.
You know, like how Diddy doing the F it Fridays, you know what I'm saying? So that type of thing, and it happened to be a Friday. And he was like, oh, I gotta go do it. And he would just smile. I was like, so he got finished, and I was like, man, you got a song for that? I was like, I think that'll be a cool song. And pulled up one beat. He went in there, did smile bitch for like 4 minutes straight. Pulled up another beat by mistake. Actually, the beat that was on got pulled up by mistake because another artist had already recorded over it. They just hadn't done the business on it.
Okay.
And he was like, man, I like that one though. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, he's a comedian. Keep in mind, I ain't know he did music to this point.
Like, here, go ahead, just take it, man.
All right, cool. I'm thinking this gonna be a funny little Instagram, internet moment, whatnot. And he did it, and I was like, let me put it in some kind of song format real quick. And it had a little flow to it. It was like, man, who we gonna put on it? In my mind, because he real cool with Tip, I'm like,
But
that's a no-brainer. Yeah. He was like, nah, man, I'm thinking different, man. He's like, what you think about Snoop? I was like, cool. So he sent it to somebody that sent it to Snoop, and he sent it back, and Snoop had filled in the hook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So none of that, nobody told him to. Snoop did it on his own and did the verse.
That's dope. I mean, he liked it.
He liked it.
Right.
So we hooked up to the studio the second time. This was the first time we got in the studio. We got in the studio a second time, went over to Patchwork. I go to the restroom, and I come back, and he's singing, I'm living my best life, I ain't going back and forth with you. So I'm like, what's that? He's like, man, this is how I feel, this is the vibe. I said, we need to put that all throughout the song. That's the vibe right there. And Ball Greasy, he FaceTime Ball Greasy right there on the spot. He said, man, you better see your vocals. This thing ain't finna go crazy.
Yeah.
And that was it, man.
That's
Hit
crazy.
record.
So
By mistake.
By mistake. But like you said, I didn't even know he did music like that until we put that out. And then I'm going online. I'm like, oh, he got other songs.
Yeah, he been doing that.
He been doing this.
Yeah.
Only thing I think I knew about when he did the BT
The BET Awards.
The Cypher.
the Music Soul Child thing he did on Comic View long time ago.
Oh, damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the only thing only kind of reference I had.
Yeah.
Of him actually singing. So that's what it was.
Because in my mind, when I'm hearing that record, I can only imagine what the session was like. You know what I'm saying?
High as hell.
Yeah, man, we was both at patchwork.
Pride died laid to the side.
It was me and him and the engineer. Oh man, it was crazy.
Nah, that was a super, super big record. And that was right out the pandemic too, so the timing was good, right?
Nah, this is before,
It was before the
pandemic.
pandemic.
before the-
But it went through the
It
pandemic
went through,
because
yeah, it kind of got hot during the pandemic.
yeah, because everybody was depressed. It's like, yeah, we do need to smile. Man. It's terrible. That's dope, man. That's dope. So it was California. Then Smile was big. Now we have the City Girls.
Well, it was Luke Nasty in between there
Yeah.
too. He had the Might Be record and the On the Way record.
So you did both of those
The On the Way.
on the way. Okay.
Sample records too, right?
Yeah.
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 That's why I say that. Like at that point, that was kind of like the signature.
Yeah. I mean, because California was it was big mainly because of Dolph being on it, and it was so different for Dolph.
Right.
You know, he had just had Preach. It was just a hard street anthem. Then he come with on top of this. It totally messed people up.
Because like even when you look at that now, right, and I'm asking you as a producer, think about a situation like for artists like a Colonel Loud. It was a great song for him, like as being a hit song, but it benefited more for Dolph.
Mm-hmm.
So as an artist, how do you work around like another artist outshining you on your own record?
Well, I mean, be honest, like, and Colonel will tell you, man, like when we first did the record, he tried to sell it to Dolph because he knew it would be bigger for Dolph.
Right.
But at the time, I don't think they was looking at it like that. And the record started going up the charts. It hit like number 13 or something, like number 13 or 11, about to be top 10. And that's when Dolph and them called back. It's like, you still want to sell that record? Of course, Colonel like, nah, bro.
We good.
We'll give you another one, but yeah, nah, we good on that.
Because I know the first time I heard that record, I was like, I knew that was a hit record.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you heard it, you knew just the feeling of that record. It was a hit.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, when I heard the sample, I think I was in a department store.
Oh wow, on Edgewood.
On Edgewood.
Good old Ed.
They was having a playlist party, and I was sitting at the bar taking shots.
You mean where you hook your phone up and play songs off your phone, right?
Yeah.
That was like, to me, that was like one of the most unique parties that I had ever been to, because until I walked into the playlist party on Edgewood, the whole party was guided by people hooking up their phones and playing songs off their phone.
It was a vibe, man. It was
Yeah.
real. It was dope.
And people really got good taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, damn,
But some people didn't.
Yeah, I think that was funny about it, too, because somebody get that play song.
like, man, turn that shit on. Pull his phone out.
like
Like, bro,
somebody-
you got to buy everybody drinks, bro.
Yeah,
You terrible.
that ain't the vibe, right? You killed the whole vibe. You know what I'm saying?
But somebody played that original sample that night. Who?
Yeah, somebody played, I don't know who it was, but they played Frankie Beverly Mays Wheel 1. And I was sitting at the bar for my third or fourth shot of tequila, and it hit me. I was like, man, if I do this, that was it. Went to the studio that same night, knocked it out.
That's dope. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to ask you this too, because you're producing, you kind of mold a lot of the sound of Atlanta too. Like right now, it's a lot of artists, Atlanta's not putting out a lot of artists like they used to. What do you think some of the problems is as far as the music is concerned? What direction do you think we need to be moving in as far as the music?
The main thing, I think people just got comfortable. You know, it turned into more of a hustle than it did an art form. Mm-hmm. And people really stopped trying to create stars and just try to hit licks, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm just put, you'll go in the club and people that never had anything to do with music, they'll walk up to you, hey man, I'm doing the music now.
Boy, we get that all the time, man.
That's why I started laughing.
Like, yo, don't you sell crack?
Right.
You sell crack, don't you?
So, I mean, it was that type of thing, man. And like I said, people just got so addicted to just getting show money instead of trying to create real superstars and have really longevity in the game. You know, I'm looking at Big Boy and Dre on the wall here. Of course, we're in a famous Stank on You, but you know, you could see their growth.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of these, a lot of the artists coming out, they don't care. They just like, hey man, I'm trying to hit my lick and keep it moving.
Right.
Artistry, yeah, there's no artistry.
No artistry at all.
So do you think, I mean, there's really a lot of levels to that, right? So as a producer, do you think a lot of these, can you blame the producers too? Like, do you feel like sometimes they might just send these artists the beats and they just take the beat and do what they want, and they're not being produced? Do you think that's part of it?
That's a huge part of it, man. Because we live in this culture now, like, I don't understand it. They be like, send a beat pack. Like, what the fuck is a beat pack?
But what I'm actually, as you being a producer, is it really, are you producing the record if you just send the beat?
No, you're not. You just sending beats.
Yep.
But and that's why I asked that question, because in my mind, if you're not there to produce the record and the artist is actually recording the vibe on top of your track, he's actually producing the record.
There you go.
So I love this. Let's break it down for the people out there or the up and coming producers. I'm doing air quotes for the people on the radio. Producer, right? Describe the difference between a beat maker and a producer. Like, what does it take to produce a record?
And to really produce a record, like all the records that I've named and the ones I forgot that were hits, they were actually real productions. You know, each artist will tell you, we had some kind of real communication, some real focus on what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just not like just saying, just send me some heat. Man, that could be a million different types of heat. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one type of sound that's a hit, or just because you got some 808s and it don't make it a hit, man. It's like, what's the concept? What we talking about? Who we gonna sing on it? Like, it's so many different variables that actually make it make sense. And that is such a lost art, because they just like, hey man, send me a beat pack. I was like, bruh, I don't work like that.
Right.
And that's my disconnect with a lot of the music now, is like, even when I listen to artists and I listen to albums, right? It's hard for me to listen to an album because I'm only listening to tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not listening to a project. I'm not listening to something that was conceptually put together. I'm actually just listening to, okay, I recorded 24 songs. This is the best 12 out of the 24.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
you can tell.
And they don't have no cohesiveness or
Nothing goes together. Nothing connects.
goes together.
Nothing has you going, okay, this symbolizes this is the identifier that I can take this song and identify with this artist with.
there you go.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's why you've had in the city and all of these other markets as well. Artists have a huge record for the summer or whatnot, and you don't hear anything from them.
I was going to say, so I feel like even as DJs, right, it's more of a singles-driven industry now. Like, people don't even know how to make projects. They're not even thinking about making projects. Like, there's artists that's been out for like 5 years and they ain't put out an album. They just putting out records.
But we had some artists that came by one day and he was just like, I asked him, I'm like, why haven't you put out an album yet? He was like, why would I put out an album when everything is single-driven?
It shouldn't be that way, though. It takes away from the art. I mean, but they trying to get their money. So
But it don't, in my eyes,
It ain't making no real money though.
It don't make any sense to put out an album.
I mean, it's like this. It's like, okay, it's almost like the argument people have all the time. I just think we just have a lot of misinformation going on right now.
Who say that all the time?
We being guided by YouTube University and what my cousin them said. I mean, it's crazy. It's the wild, wild west right now. You saw the whole situation with Gucci the other day.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just people have this misconception about if you're getting millions of views, they equate each view with $1.
Not even close.
Right.
$50,000.
Right. So it's just a lot of misinformation going on right now. And I mean, the biggest one out right now is owning my masters.
Oh my God.
That's the funniest one to me.
Yeah.
Because I own all my masters.
But you ain't selling nothing.
Yeah, like, but what are they worth though?
Right. If your master's not worth nothing, what are you owning?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's even like when it comes to record deals, everybody's so anti. I don't want to deal, but you don't have $1 million to spend on yourself, so or you don't have those connections. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got the money, if you don't have the right connections, you gonna spend way more money trying to figure it out.
Right. So you think I should ask him the question?
It's
now?
definitely time. He segued right into it perfect.
All right,
He didn't even know it.
I know what y'all doing.
So I gotta ask. So I gotta ask you the question, right? We're gonna put you in the artist space.
Let's do it.
All right. $1 million in cash or $1 million in promotion.
Promotion.
Ding, ding, ding.
Instantly.
Because
He
he's
said
a
it.
veteran, bro. He's a veteran. So the last guest we had, I think he said he took the money.
He
right?
took the money.
Took the money.
He said he spent $500,000 in promotion on his own, and he'll take the other half and he'll do what he got.
I guarantee you he don't know who to go take it to.
Ding ding.
Hey, boy, Hanky, a veteran out here. Listen,
Come on, man.
that's it. That's it. And that's part of the game. It's like the money ain't everything, bro. Who do you take the money to? You don't have these relationships, these resources. You just got money.
So guess what? You gonna get taken to the cleaners,
Boy,
man.
what? They gonna hit you with the new music review. They gonna hit you with the playlist. everything
The
they can do.
streams. Hey man, we
The
gonna
bots.
Hey man, we doing everything off that $1 million.
Yeah,
Man, they go spend a cool $1,200 and put the rest in the pocket. You gonna feel like you're doing something.
Yeah. I mean, and this is what I think a lot of times, and you would know this better than anybody, being that you dealt with a lot of independents. A lot of times, I think a lot of independents forget that what independent music mean, or having an independent label, what it means. That means you're gonna independently do everything that the major label would do.
Exactly.
That means you're gonna spend every dollar that the major label is gonna spend on a project.
Yeah, they think it's cheaper because independent. No, it's the same price.
No,
Right.
It's just your price.
I think that's the thing people don't realize. I tell indie artists all the time, when you come to X or you and y'all in the middle of y'all mix, y'all don't have a slot for independent artists.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Said it fast. No, we don't though.
You don't.
No.
So your stuff got to compete with Drake, with
Yeah, we got to
City Girl.
We got to be able to fit that in with everything that's being played.
exactly. You just can't come left field and say, "Hey, Filthy Rich, hey man, I'm an independent artist."
But independent
Good
artists.
luck to you, brother.
But this is the other misconception.
I'm rooting for you, champ.
Just like when you said that, this is the other misconception. I'm an independent artist. What does that mean?
That don't mean nothing.
In my eyes, it don't mean anything, because you're saying I can independently do what a major label can do.
That's what it is. And they, like I said, the problem is it's part of the culture for so long, because most independent artists who have that mindset, most of people who claim to be independent artists remain independent artists.
Right.
They doing open mics for the rest of their life, and that's what it is. It's like group therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like on Mondays or Thursdays, they go to the local bar, and they doing that shit. They playing that song for the next 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so some of them, that's what it is. That's what they want. But and they don't understand at some point the people that they say are part of the industry, they were independent at one time too.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Future, Migos, all of that. They were once independent artists they rose.
Right.
Yeah.
And they connected with the people that could help them get to that point.
Right.
I think a lot of time people forget that same system and those same people that helped those people get in those positions are still out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, when you say the misinformation of what goes on between YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all the social media platforms, that's what misguide a lot of the artists and really send them on a path of destruction.
Yeah. I mean, because, like, I tell people all the time, the internet helps introduce records and artists, kind of, sort of, because you have some records that pop or go viral on Instagram, and you really don't even know they're real records because you only hear 7-8 seconds of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or whatever the challenge is.
Right.
You know, and I know y'all seen, records that were big challenges and they blew up.
Right.
And you play them in the club, and after that point they do the little challenge,
You gotta cut
they
it
turn
off.
around,
It's
you gotta
over.
cut it off because they like,
I don't know this.
this a whole song?
Right.
Yeah. Which is terrible, for real.
It's like a 15-minute like segue. That's it.
Yeah, it's a commercial break.
Yeah, 15 seconds. Like, hey, you better get it in. Then they looking for you to switch the record after that.
Yeah, that's all they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a challenge over.
Put that next challenge on.
Yeah, which is bad. But I want to stick to the independence part too for a little bit too, because I think Like I love independence. Period. I think everybody should own their own stuff and move the way they're supposed to move business wise. But I think the narrative is messed up because when people say they're independent, they be like, "Oh man, he blew up like that." He didn't blow up independently the whole way. Like there's a partnership has to come in. You got to partner with somebody if you don't have the money. Like, it's really no way around that.
Even if you got the money, like I said, you don't
Relationships.
You don't know a Big X. You don't know a Filthy Rich. You know what I'm saying?
But they leave that part out when all these guys are like, I'm independent, I did it. Like, nah, not that way.
And I say that too because as Coalition, we had to understand too. Like when we first started, we was kind of naive to the game. Like when we was playing those records, we felt like when we played Future and we played Migos and all those things, even though we did play a major part of building the foundation for those artists in the club, we're playing them and really playing them a lot. You know what I'm saying? In the club that built the foundation for them. But once that record went past the club, it was other people that laid bricks on that record.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I think a lot of artists now, especially here in Atlanta, they forget that once that record gets to a certain point, you got to start letting other people start laying bricks on that house. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and that's like, I'm glad you said that because I had a conversation with somebody the other day. You know, because we have this whole mentality. Everybody got this mentality they're against the whole industry. You know, like, oh, I did it by myself. I ain't signing no 360 deal. I ain't signing no kind of deal. You know, and they don't understand. Like, honestly, that's not a bad thing for you because if they're saying they're going to get you endorsements, this and then the third, they kind of give them an incentive to really push a button on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, it's like I said, so much misinformation out there. It's crazy.
But also too, Hanky, you know, it's promotional parts of the game that has to be taken care of too. That a lot of artists don't know that those things have to be paid for. There's actually no way around it. It's gonna happen. Even it happens for Beyonce. It happens for the biggest artist that's in the game. So those promotional things that have to happen, you can't get around it. You know what I mean? So as an independent, even when you get signed, those same people that are working those big records will work your record as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing. You know, what people don't realize is over 60,000 some new songs that get added to.
No, 100,000 a day.
100. I stand
500,000 by the end of the week.
500,000 new songs a week.
In 4 weeks, that's 2 million records.
Yep.
Every day.
And most of them are rap.
Yeah.
Most of them are rap.
Yeah, so if you think, even if you have an amazing record, man, you have to put something with it to kind of put it above everything else because that's a lot of music.
Yeah, I posted that the other day on my page that now is over 100,000 records that come out a day.
There you go.
And what I'm saying, if it's 100,000 that come out a day, out of that 100,000 records, at least 50 to 60,000 of those records are rap records.
Yeah, easily.
You see what I'm saying?
Cut through the fluff.
So
Independent rap records.
yeah, but this is what I'm saying. How do you cut through?
Promotion, man. Promotion, and relationships.
But everybody, and this is what I said to the last artist. I said, now, if we're talking about 2 million records that come out every month, right? Everybody's doing the same thing you saying, promotion. At some point, it's got to be some talent there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that goes without saying. But
at some point, we got to have a great record, Hanky.
Well, see, that's the other part about it. I meet artists all the time, and the first thing they're telling me about is their marketing plan. How they feel it should be moved and this and that third. This before they even got the song recorded. You know what I'm saying? So artists like today, most of them, the ones that's coming up, there's nothing wrong with it. This is part of the culture, the microwave culture. But they're in such a rush to do nothing.
I was about to say the same thing.
They be like, "Hey man, we gotta get the song done. I'm like,
for what? Where's it going?
What we doing?
Who's demanding it?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It became, speed over accuracy, and that's not how it works. So I see that all the time.
So I got this thing that I do with the DJs, right? And I gotta ask you this. I call the new music of Atlanta now that they're making now, I call it hookah lounge music. That's just my term. Some people say they don't understand what it is, but I'm saying
they know what it is.
I don't think I'm looking for club music. I'm looking for that
energy.
The Atlanta energy. Right now, everything I hear is like, let's sit down in a section, get a bottle, and get some hookah.
Pop some perks.
Or if it's in the daytime, brunch music.
Right, you see them?
For the dudes wearing brunch boots.
Brunch boots.
Brunch boots and fedoras.
What you know about the brunch boots? That's a fact.
So they say I'm lame for doing like labeling it that, but I'm just saying the music just is not. A lot of the music right now don't have any energy. It's not a young or old thing to me.
No.
I'm just looking for the energy of the music.
And I think that's what I've been trying to do with the records, especially with like Twerkulator and Good Love.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, the tempo's gotten so slow. I mean, because everybody's smoking. Like you said, they popping pills.
Oh,
and
did I mention there's no dance floors in Atlanta
At all.
there's no dance floors anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I don't think it's just here no more.
Yeah, it's lounge culture everywhere. Standing on couches.
sections everywhere.
Yeah, standing on couches and paying $300 for Bel Air and whatever else.
Started that. We know who started that.
Oh man,
I ain't gonna say his name, but he used to park cars.
Yeah.
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 But I don't blame him. Shit, I mean, I'm gonna make that money too. So
Yeah, you got to get the money, but it ruined the party, especially as DJs. Like, think about this, X. Like, remember it used to be easy. Like, okay, midnight about to come. Boy, I'm about to go crazy.
Oh, yeah, you knew, yeah,
everybody. Now it's like, damn, man, it ain't giving me too much. I'm gonna have to play some old music to get it popping, or some Mr. Hanky music, because that's why I'm kind of grateful for producers like you now, what you're doing, because as a DJ, it's not fun, bro. Like, I can't play trap music all night. And I love trap music, but somebody got to get some asses shaking around here. You know what I mean? So I thank you for that, because you're making it easier, because it's hard as a DJ to turn up.
I appreciate it, because like I said, I used to be a DJ as well. And I remember I was in the club one day, and when it came to like the whatever the twerk portion of the night, they were still playing Juvenile, Back That Ass Up, Chopper Style. You name it, like it was just the same 5-6 records. So
Them
I was
records
like, man,
is
somebody
20
give some.
years old.
Yeah, at least.
it's just
20,
and it's the same thing I was telling my man the other day about the R&B nights, right? You know the songs they gonna play.
Yeah.
I bet you can name off the top 5 songs.
Oh
Yeah.
Can't We
Tevin
Talk?
Campbell,
I'm going down.
Keisha Cole.
Keisha Cole,
Love.
Love. They go cut, and when she sing Love, they go cut the music off. So the crowd sing a cappella.
Yeah, it works every time. Like, we know what listen, I do it. Shit. Y'all ain't giving me enough ammo. Where the singers at?
What's the song? Week. It's
SWB, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I say even with the Good Love record, you got with Usher, right? I felt like that tempo, especially for Atlanta, was needed, because that's kind of like what started the whole Atlanta wave, that tempo. You know what I'm saying? And we completely moved away from what built the city.
And I think that's why I'm doing those tempo records, and that's what attracted me to Karma Rose, because she had a record called Big Vibes that's like that. And I'm in the process of like just doing a whole project with her, just to have real party music. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole void missing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's needed. And I think what made Atlanta too was it was a lot of independent artists doing that. With the Freaky Lathan, he was part of on the So Def project.
Yeah, that was around the time we was doing Kizzy Rock and back in the
on,
day.
man.
You know what I'm saying? But that's when Atlanta, like, that was pre-Crunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was like pre-Crunk. Then when Crunk came, Crunk had his own tempo, which was kind of like a sister to bass. You know what I'm saying? So the tempo was still there. The energy was still there. But like now, I don't know what this energy is in the music now.
It's the hookah, man. I ain't gonna even put it on the sections, man, because
It's that hookah lounge.
it's the hookah, man. Because you gotta keep in mind, you got a hookah. You can't really do too much in that.
gonna burn somebody.
Or you gonna set the place on fire.
Like a big ass piece of coal.
Listen, look, my man Clayton English got this joke. It's so true. He said, "Who came up with a hookah with a long cord on it that you could trip over, and hot rocks that'll burn somebody on fire? And you supposed to party around this?"
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. We need dance floors back, man. We do. We do.
And that's what I was saying, man. People don't make dance floor music, man. Like, and when you go in the club, it's like, I be like, man, nobody's having fun.
But even they got to stand on that couch, because it ain't nowhere to dance it.
There you go.
You got to stand on that
That's
couch.
why I think I just did this record with Beat King's artist Talamisha.
Okay.
And I sampled myself, ironically.
Dope.
Wait, is that the joint that he keep posting?
Yeah, with the twerk everybody.
You did that too?
Yeah.
Walk around the club.
Well, I
twerk
did
on
the
it?
original.
Right.
I did the original, so I sampled myself.
Sampled himself.
You know what I mean?
Check on the check. Did you clear?
Yeah.
Did you clear it for yourself?
I cleared
yourself.
Yeah, and we did. And what people don't know, shout out to Trilly and Prince Rick. I gotta give them a shout out because most artists a trip. I was like, hey man, look, I got this idea. Everybody go get paid, but Beat King's artists, and they from Dallas, he from Houston, so they all cool. And it's funny how me and Beat King linked back up, right? So I gotta tell this part. So it was me, him, Zaytoven, and DJ Chose. It's like 2017. We was on South by Southwest, and so we all did this panel. And so right after, he's like, "Yeah, man, I need some beats." So we was in the convention center in Austin, Texas, right? And basically, I sent him some beats right then on the deal. So I thought, but I ain't had a good reception. So the beats never went through. You know what I'm saying? So,
You thought you played him.
right.
It's so Hollywood ass nigga.
Right. Y'all know how he is. He like, man, I just gotta tell you, man, I ain't fuck with you for a minute. I said, what? I said, what you mean? So he's like, man, you never send me them beats. And I went looking at the text message, and they had the little red.
It was still there.
Still they never go through. I said, oh man, so that's how that record came about. He was like, man, but I got this artist, and he said, I got this idea. I want to do that throw it off. I said, what you mean? He said, let's say twerk around the club on everybody. I said, cool, let's do it. And right now it's like, it's trending in the clubs down in Houston and Texas. A couple of DJs about to start playing it up here. Doing good on the internet.
Me, nigga, I rock with that record. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, that's me.
Man, that's what I'm saying. I be looking for I like women dancing, bruh. That's what I like. So,
And
that.
the crazy part about this culture now, like back when I was coming up, you actually knew who produced the records.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy now. Nobody knows who produced these records now.
Nah, man. I mean, man,
If you don't put the tag on it, nobody knows.
Got to put the tag.
I mean, you got the loop culture going on now where, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation because I don't understand that to this day. It's actually legally it's worse than sampling. Because I've seen situations to where, you might have think Rich sent me some loops, but Rich don't know where he got them from. So it's two other people tied into it, and they all want $10,000 a piece. Guess what? That beat ain't gonna get placed.
Right.
Ain't nobody finna play $70,000-$80,000.
So are they selling loops now? Is that like the new thing?
I think they just sending them to people, man. Because I just started getting like emails and like, yeah, man, and it's got like
loop packs.
Yeah, it's just 4 or 5 different loops or whatnot, and you look on the email thread and it's like 1,000 people on the thing, like a chain. I'm like, I'm not using none of this.
So, and that's what I notice now about the production now, even, and it's, for me coming from back when you either knew how to play or you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Now it seems like you really don't have to do too much of nothing to produce now, like because everything kind of come packaged.
Yeah, right. They just dropping in loops and stuff. Well, they might have somebody else play it for them, but I play all my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you use? You on an MPC?
I got an MPC. I mostly do mine on Pro Tools.
Okay. You program everything in Pro Tools?
Yeah, I program all my beats on Pro Tools.
Okay, that's like even the drums,
the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole thing. I'm gonna tell you why I started doing that. When I was doing stuff strictly on the MPC, some kind of way when I would, be dumping into the MPC or whatnot, and I dump it back into the Pro Tools or whatever. Each time I would do something, sound quality would be lost. So it never sounded like how it sounded when I was making it. It didn't get the same feeling.
Okay.
So I just figured if I do it like I need to do it in Pro Tools, it's gonna give the sound that it needs to give.
So you just start programming directly in the Pro Tools.
Directly in the Pro Tools, so I get a true thing of how it sounds.
Okay.
Now it ain't easy. It ain't
That is because I've actually sat there and tried to program in Pro Tools myself, and I'm sitting there going, "Hold on, my God, for real, the whole song."
Yeah, it ain't easy at all, but it's worth it.
Okay.
If you get it down pat and you get you some kind of some kind of system going or whatnot, and mainly the main thing helps if you know what you want to do already.
Right.
So yeah.
So well, you seem like you know what you're doing. So
Yeah, you can say that.
Little something. All right, so look, we got to go into a break and we're going to come right back. Let's get into one of your new records. What's something that you want to play for the people?
I want to play this "Twerk on Everybody" by Talamisha. It's going crazy.
All right.
Let's get it. We Outside Radio. We'll be right back with Mr. Hanky. Yes, sir. It's your boy DJ Filthy Rich.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Big X.
And we are back. This is the We Outside show with our special guest, Mr. Hanky.
What's happening?
And we got Karma Rose in the building.
What's happening?
What's going?
All right, Hanky. So tell us about this new artist, Miss Karma Rose, that you're working with.
Like I said, man, I'm working on a project, and like I said, I'm tapping in with a lot of dope artists, and it's probably one of the top ones, definitely. Her energy, that party music we talking about doing, that's what she do. The good vibes, because she talk about it all the time. She's like, man, people don't dance. Literally the same thing we just said, you know what I'm saying? So, most of the time people say that, and you trying to, you figure it out, but she got it instantly. Her whole vibe like that, man.
So where did y'all meet? How did y'all connect? Because I know it's hard to get with Hanky as an artist. Like how did you get his attention?
First of all, let me tell you, I didn't even know what a hanky was. Okay.
She said what a hanky was.
Well, look, I know because that's what it was at the time. Because when they was like Mr. Hanky, I was like, that's a crazy name. But no, he was working with Tiny, big homie Tiny, over with Stroud.
Yeah,
and then when they told me
with Ray Daniels.
Yep. And when they told me about the record, they was like, Stroud. He was the one who was like, you need to get over there and get with Hanky.
Yeah.
I could put you down. So I just started following him, and I reached out myself.
And shout out my boy Stroud, man.
Yeah, shout out to Stroud because he always put a good word in for sure. But I reached out myself.
Dope. So it was like a DM or what? Like,
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram. I kept trying to get with him. His schedules. He's a busy man, so when time allowed, it finally worked itself out, and it was perfect timing too because I feel like at the time I was trying to get with him, I didn't have a real direction for myself. I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to put out and what direction I wanted to go. Did I want to be a people pleaser? Did I want to do what I wanted to do? What I felt like, because I feel like somebody needs me. It's somebody out there that needs a me.
They need to see you?
They need a me. They need a me, for real.
Yeah.
I'm what's missing.
So Hanky, it was more about the sound. Like, was it the?
It's the sound and the confidence, man. Like, like she was just like, "Hey, man, what we doing?" I was like, "All right, cool." And she played the record, the music. All the music was what she said it was, so it just made more sense than anything. I didn't have to tell her she needed to do something that people can dance to or nothing. That was her whole goal in the first place. So it was a perfect fit.
Dope.
So I know with the female wave right now, right? Are you more is the music hypersexual?
No.
So no. I'm more of I try to keep it a little PG-13. It's rated R still, but a little PG-13, and that's just because I really would like to make time capsule music for real. I want some music that people could play at their barbecue, at their family reunion type deal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm saying some stuff, but minimum cussing. You know what I'm saying? In certain songs anyway.
So right now, like,
Right
what
now.
would be your main audience?
Everybody.
Everybody, like
It's for everybody.
So your music doesn't really cater toward females. Don't lean
Both.
toward.
Both.
Okay.
Both. Men like my music. Women like my music. I cater to everybody, and that's just because it's all about how you present it, all about how you say it, how you deliver it, what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not throwing my coochie in their face every 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not saying
And that's
sex
why
sells, but
Right.
that's not the only thing that I have to talk about.
Okay.
So what are some things like? When you work with different producers, now Stroud is my man. He's fire.
For sure.
So when you work with different producers, you learn stuff from them if they're
Yeah.
producing you. So I know how Hanky gets down in the studio. I've been in the studio with him. I've seen it. What are some things that you think you've learned to level up with working with him?
You want to know what's crazy? We actually haven't got to work yet because I've been putting stuff together, and it's kind of like when I hear something I like, I send it to Hanky phone. And so now this recent record that I got is like, that's how we really are doing the startup. It's this record, he heard the beat, he's like, it needs some structure. And so we're just taking the whole beat, scrapping it, keeping the entire song, but he's about to put the feels to it.
And so the main thing she gonna learn is, like structure to a song. Like she got it. It's a dope record, but it's just a long one song. It don't break or breathe or nothing. But what she's saying is gonna work.
So I gotta ask you, like what most journalists will ask you, right? Like if I had to compare your sound to somebody, who could I compare it to?
Karma Rose. because I don't sound like anybody. I have my own voice. I could believe that you can turn me on and you'll be able to tell that that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And also,
He told
My
me
topics
he,
is
he
just-
told me the confidence is there, so I'm hearing that.
Oh yeah,
it's-
yeah.
I'm hearing the confidence.
Can't tell you shit, huh?
And I think when the project does finally reveal itself, that y'all gonna love it too. Because I just was hearing y'all talk about, people putting singles together. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what they do. And I tried to actually put work into mine. I put a concept behind it. I told a story, and it's I brought some '90s back. So
Right.
Are you from
it's
here?
just a concept.
You from here?
No, I'm from Chicago.
Oh, Shot-Town.
Chi-Town.
But I would just say Midwest because I'm
Chirac.
from Chicago to South Bend, everywhere in a 2-hour radius.
Okay.
Yeah.
But-
We moved a lot.
And I ask females this all the time because I feel like a lot of times when you hear music from females, right, everything is hypersexualized. Nobody really talk about a lot of the things that go on with females, and I think there's a lot that go on with females every day.
Really?
And I think
Really
none of
true.
that is like really put into music now. Everything is twerk, everything is sex, everything is my coochie.
Yeah.
But what about the day-to-day things that women go through that are never talked about in music?
But
Right.
that's because they don't know how to talk about it. Because
Well,
Every-
we can't say that because we had artists before that did it.
no, I'm not saying everybody.
Okay.
I'm talking about a vast majority.
Okay.
Most of these people that are becoming artists, they're becoming artists for money, for some fame, for some jewelry, for some BBLs.
Okay.
They don't care about the art. That's what's missing. They don't care. All they want to do is, you see, everybody sounds the same. Everybody's
Right.
saying the same thing on a different beat.
Right.
So if they actually would just think about what they want to say and then put it together and practice your delivery, practice makes perfect. But again,
doubt.
they're not doing it for the art.
Okay.
Do you think as a female though the agenda is getting pushed on you and you feel pressure that you have to do that? Like even if you make this good music, do you feel like it'll be received the way it's supposed to be, or you feel like it's an uphill battle because you are so different?
I feel like it's always going to be a battle, and I just align with myself.
Okay.
It's just me. It's just me. That's it.
Okay.
And when I say it's just me, like I don't see what everybody else doing. I see it like I'm listening to it. I'm actually going out and seeing these people perform, but I'm not seeing them with my music. You do what you do, I do what I do. That's what makes me great.
Okay. So
And I think the thing that's gonna make our situation work, because of the kind of music that she does, y'all know, like it's certain DJs that get certain records.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of people make that mistake. They just say, "Oh, I'm gonna just take it to the DJs." Man, that dude played 21 Savage and Future all night.
right. He ain't gonna get your record.
He ain't gonna get your record. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge part of when I did California. I knew to bring it to y'all.
Right.
Because a lot of y'all, most of the coalition DJs are actually musicians as well. They get it.
Right.
Y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I could bring it to y'all, and look what happened.
Right. Well, and that's part of it too, is really understanding the record. I think a lot of times when people break records and they go service the DJ, you got to kind of know who to take that record to, like you're saying. You know what I mean?
so
Like
right about that.
you know if you go take it to a funky, he's gonna understand what a California is. He's gonna understand what a smile is. He's gonna understand the impact that record is gonna have when he play it in the club.
Exactly.
Where if you take, like you said, a record to a guy you know that ain't playing nothing but trap all night long, he ain't gonna get those type of records because he know he's not gonna get that type of response when he play it.
Exactly.
You know if you play trap all night, what type of response you gonna get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you step outside of that arena, everybody in that room looking at you like, dude,
Right.
Right.
what are you playing?
But you know what, though? I learned to stop taking those looks, too hard because it's just because they don't know the song.
Yeah,
They're
well,
just looking crazy because they don't know the song. Some people may actually fall in love with the song. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but you have to. DJs to me are A&Rs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all are tastemakers, so
Right.
you should know when you hear the record what it could do.
we do.
Not you. I'm talking to I'm talking in general. A lot of them don't. Y'all do sitting at this table, but let's talk the majority.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah.
Right. Well, everybody kind of
gotta have an ear for
everybody kind of mold what they think a hit is off of a playlist.
Yeah.
That's what a new hit is now. If it's on one of the main playlists, it's a hit record. But that don't just because it's on a playlist, and even if you go back to when Spotify first started and a lot of these playlists started,
Right.
it was never about it being hit records. It was just a new record.
Yeah, it doesn't translate to the club or the radio all the time.
Right. And now you got a lot of DJs that DJ in the club that don't know how to. They don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? They can't tell you what a club record is or what should be played in the club, but because it's on the Spotify playlist, they're gonna play it in the club.
And a lot of that got to do with the technology, man, because, when I was DJing, I was on Technique 1200s, so I don't know nothing about no sync button.
Well, if you take a lot of these DJs off of those buttons and put them on some 1200s, it's over.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? The technology is great because I remember having to carry in them crates of records and all that stuff, but I love that part of it, but when you lose that element of it, you lose the ability to blend certain records.
Well, I like one thing I do like about the accessibility of having that much music, because before, when you had to bring all them records in a crate, you had to actually, sometimes you didn't want to bring all those records, you had to know exactly what you was gonna be playing at night. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of helped, like the controller and the whole Serato. It kind of simplified it. But the one thing about it is having that ability to have that vast amount of music at your will. Man, you supposed to be a dope DJ.
Well, especially when it comes to requests, because now it's like, hey, you got that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Before you be like,
Yeah, and that was the other thing
I ain't bring it.
And that was the other thing I was going to mention to you too. And I tell a lot of artists this: everybody kind of push their music towards Spotify, and Tidal now is in all of the DJs' computer.
Yep.
Like it's built into Serato. So with that being said, it's great for artists to push their records to Tidal, because you don't have to go when you go in the club. 9 times out of 10, if you already uploaded on Tidal or Spotify, you can go into the DJ and tell the DJ, "Hey man, play my record from Tidal."
That's crazy.
And a lot of us, our Tidal playlists, we share with each other.
Right.
So I could be like, yo, what you playing in the club? I could just send him my Tidal playlist, and he can pull it up in his Serato.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the great thing about having music, and you know this from being a DJ, I could give each one of us as DJs, right? We can give each one of us have 20 songs, but none of us are gonna play them the same.
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the whole unique thing about being a DJ.
So I have a question for you, Hanky, too, because we were talking about like knowing a hit. You ever been wrong about a record? Like, you ever had a record like, man, I know this is about to be the one, and it don't be the one?
Nah, I've been wrong about an artist.
Which one was that you would say?
I ain't,
Nah, he can't. You know he
You
can't.
know,
yeah, I can't say, but yeah, I've given hit records. I've done hit records with artists who can't necessarily. They weren't able to carry the records. Sometimes, it's not a bad thing to say they was bad artists or something, but you got. I also learned that from working with College Park. Everybody, even though people were saying it's like novelty records and stuff, it's cool, yeah. But Soulja Boy was a star, so he could carry it.
oh yeah.
Hurricane Chris was a star, so they could carry Yin Yang the whole nine. So I think that's one of the things that attracted me to her is she's a star. She could carry it. I mean, she only this big, but her personality is, you know what I'm saying? So when that record pops, it's not going to be bigger than her. It's not going to be bigger than the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of songs out here that are popular, but when the artist can walk right by, you wouldn't even know it's them.
Man, listen, we see it every Monday. And that's not being disrespectful to artists.
Right.
It's just true. We tell them that on stage. It's just like, to be an artist, you have to be a character.
You gotta be.
And I think a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand that when they decided they want to be artists, that you have to become a character. I remember one time I was with Too Short, and he was like, sometimes when you with me and we together, I'm Todd. But when I'm out in public, I'm Too Short. And you have to become who that character is. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
In order for people to believe it. So when you walk in the room, you can't be the comment that your mom and your dad them know. You got to be the comment that you want us to know.
There you go.
That's
See
a
what I'm
different
saying?
person.
And
That's not karma for sure.
That's me as well.
Yeah.
I got thrown in Mr. Hanky shit.
Yeah.
And then if you know Corey, it's a whole nother situation.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's part of the game.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Okay,
people-
so in reverse. Have you ever been wrong about an artist like, man, that artist ain't really that hot, and they go crazy? You're like, damn, I didn't even see that coming.
Yeah.
Because that happens to me a lot. More than I would like to admit. But it's like, damn, I ain't think he wasn't shit.
And it's cool though, you know, because like I said, you can't catch every artist.
Nah, you can't.
You know what I'm saying? Even if they are dope, it might not be right chemistry wise. So I like to spend a lot of time to see if it's gonna work, you know, for the long haul. Yeah.
So going into that, I want to talk about your project. We're talking about artists. We have her on your project. What do you have a title for the project yet?
Man, not yet.
Okay, so you really like in the beginning stages, or how far are you into it?
I'm making records right now, and I'm just making records right now, just getting it together. But the dope thing about it, like, you know, with the technology right now, you know, if once I get it, you know, we can put out a whole project in a week or so. We got it, you know, we got what we want. So,
Do you know how many songs you want, or is it real organic? You just like, you know, when you got it, you got it.
yeah, it's gonna be super organic, man.
Yeah.
You know, I got people like my homie Beat King. He don't know it yet. Most of these people don't know it yet, but they know it. You know what I'm saying? So I done reached out to the homies.
So, again, when you in the studio and you hearing these records, like, are you, like, even on this project, are you going to release a record and just go, I think this the one, or you going to wait till you record a few of them and go and pick out of the ones that you record? Because a lot of times when people pick, they go, the first song they get off a project, go, this going to be the lead single. And then after you record, you record 3-4 songs that's better than the first one you did.
To me, it's like perfect example, man. I never forget another College Park moment. It's the second Soulja Boy album, right? And Crank That went crazy, all that. And we came out with this record called Bird Walk. That was his first lead single. We was like, yeah, this gonna be it. This gonna be it. That wasn't it. It wasn't. I mean, it was cool. It was like, you know, we tried to attempt Crank That Part 2. And a song we wasn't even checking for was Turn My Swag On. Nobody saw that coming. It was just a record we did.
I love that goddamn song.
And that's why I asked that, because
That's like my guilty
Classic,
pleasure
man.
record, man.
because a lot of times when people pick these singles, a lot of times they just be off. You know what I mean? It ain't that the song ain't a good song. It's just that sometimes the public have to pick what that hit record is.
They did. They picked it and the DJs backed it up, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to put out a multiple records sometimes too, because you just don't know. Like, it's sometimes when people come to New Music Monday, we want them to perform 3 records so we can help them pick between the 3. The guys that come, or the girls, the artists that come and do one song, we just be sitting there like, damn, I want to hear something else, because we don't know if that's really the one.
Nah, be honest. Like, that one song they walk in here ain't it.
It's never it.
It ain't it. But one thing I like about people that think they got that one record is the confidence that they have in that one record. They really believe that when they walk through that door, everybody in this room was gonna go crazy over that record. And it's crazy to see how DJs react, and they go,
And you thought that was the one.
and I hate to see that face when Filthy or one of the guys go, man, you know, you could have played, you know, a couple other songs.
I'm gonna tell you who the worst one. Filthy is bad, but Smooth. And what's my man be drunk down here?
Double D.
Double D. Between Smooth, Double D, and Filthy. Because Filthy, he just go look to the side. He was like,
Yeah. I be trying to hide my face, but I'm not good at it, man.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And see, and the thing I like about, you know, everybody go, man, why you let Double D do that in the room? I say, hey man, dude is giving this honest feedback. That's how he honestly, and he's qualified to give feedback. He's in the club at least 4 or 5 nights a week in Atlanta.
Right. Facts.
So why wouldn't you want to get his, you know,
Honest, uncut.
his honest, uncut.
Hey, you can't
feedback.
pay for that.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, I don't think he'd be off a lot of times, but you know,
Yeah.
because you got to think he's in some of the most, you know, I ain't gonna say ratchet, but some of the raunchiest clubs.
And it's after hours too.
Right.
So, you know, there's a certain vibe for the after hours.
He's seeing the people who for they really are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Facts.
Like 4, 5 in the morning.
Man, come on.
Yeah.
When you see somebody at 4 or 5 in the morning, you seeing who that person is.
Real them.
and they liking exactly what they like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So I want to transition into something that you've done that's really big, especially here in Atlanta, for everybody in Atlanta. You have a situation with the Hawks at State Farm Arena.
Yeah, so I'm responsible for the in-game music for the Atlanta Hawks. What that means is basically in the NBA is the only sport that you can actually play music during the actual game.
Right.
So But during defensive possessions, you can't play music. You only like do defensive chants and stuff like that. But when the Hawks have the ball,
Right.
those beats that are playing, those are my beats.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because listen, the crazy part about that, I know they do that in like I went to a game in Milwaukee, and they was playing the you know the little point guard, his name he's number 21, and they was playing the 21. Won't you do something for me? And they would play that like while they had the ball, and I would notice like when the other team got the ball,
Nothing. Well, yeah, they do that because if they let the home team play music while the visiting team had the ball, they'd be playing all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, fuck you.
They'd be playing all kind of cartoon music or whatever. Just it's crazy stuff. But yeah.
but that's big though. How did you get involved with getting your music played at the State Farm? Like, how would you go about doing that?
Oh man, it was just networking, man. I met Melissa Proctor, who's the chief marketing officer of the Hawks, so we got real cool. And she's like, man, congratulations, you did this and that and third. And one day I remember we was just talking about work, things we had going on, and she was telling me, you get flagged on social media for posting other people's music or videos and stuff. So apparently it's become a problem with the NBA. They're getting, I guess like lawsuits or whatnot. They was getting lawsuits, and it's like, well, I wish we just had some beats that we can play during the game. I was like, well, let's see what I got some beats.
Right.
Yeah, so that was it. It all went down in like 2 days.
That's fire.
That's so hard.
Wow.
So a lot of producers don't think about that too. It's like there's so many ways to get money when you can make music.
Come on, man.
They're just not thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sync licensing, movies, TV shows.
And that's one of the things, like when we had you on the conference last year, that was one of the things I wanted, like even with this year. I think I'm more about giving information now opposed to doing showcases and those type of things. Not that they're not needed.
Right.
I just think like when we first started this conversation, the misinformation, now we need to make sure that everybody sit down and get the right information and from the people who's actually doing it.
Right.
I think a lot of it is, a lot of the information that's being given is from people that have never seen a record contract. A lot of people have never worked a hit record. They don't know half of the shit that they're telling people. They don't even know what they're doing, and they're giving this information to other artists like this is what they've done all their life. You see what I'm saying? So it's not fair to people that actually do it, because these are the people that have actually walked in those shoes and did the things that they say they can do, and they really need to be in their life. They really give their information to these artists, so these artists will have the right information to do what they need to do to get to that point where they want to be.
And I'm with that, man, because I think that's why a lot of, like you said, I don't do a lot of press like I should. But I think that's why I ain't really have nothing to say, because it was just so much crazy stuff, YouTube University. People just saying crazy stuff. I just, like my song say, I ain't have time to go back and forth with these niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to argue with you. This how it goes. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and that's where it is now. It's like, why argue when you got 100 cats gonna come behind you, and they're gonna go against everything you saying.
come on, man.
And everybody got and the crazy part about it, this is the other thing I was talking to Funky about. A lot of artists just feel like it's gonna be this button that they're gonna push, and everything is gonna just go the way they want it to go.
Man, I cannot tell you how many artists they have this I don't know, they have this perception that everybody that they work with have an app on their phone that they can type their name into and download their music to and press a button, and then you take off. Just that simple.
Right. And when they say the machine, they really think that it's a real
machine.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't understand that machine is all of us, the physical machine of everybody that we're talking about in that network that's got to help and push that record. Because every artist that you've seen that's been successful have used that network of people.
All of them.
I'm telling you.
That's the whole thing.
All
Like,
of 'em.
even to this day, when you're talking about every artist, when you're talking about Future, you're talking about Lil Baby, you're talking about Megan Thee Stallion, it's a network of people that are in place that every artist that you've seen.
And I think
went
that's
through
the
that
crazy part to me, man. Like, it's crazy. You come into a New Music Monday, you'll see Drummer Boy, you'll see Zaytoven, you'll see me.
Right.
All these people who doing stuff consistently, and you have people who've never done it that don't think they got to come to New Music Monday.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. If the biggest of the biggest can come, why would you, as a new artist?
And I was here when Glorilla came and did her new song. What's the one? Tomorrow.
Right.
Yep.
And of course, nobody was feeling it at the time because Fuck Nigga Free was so hot at the time. But she still came here, performed all her new music.
Right.
And this is one of the hardest artists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that should let you know something.
Right. And she came and did. She played Tomorrow, and I think she had just released it. Either
No,
that
it
week.
wasn't mixed either. That was
Right.
the rough. Yeah. That's how new it was.
Right.
And this is what I think a lot of people took away from her tweet when she gave that tweet. She really wasn't dissing us. She was shit, it had stuck in her head so long what the DJs told her that would help that record to where she said, "Look, I got Cardi B on the record. Now look at it." You see what I'm saying? I didn't take it as a diss because nobody in the room dissed it. They just said, "Hey, we want another song like Fuck Nigga Free," which is only right when that is the biggest song of probably the last 2 summers.
Easily.
Easy.
You see what I'm saying? And that song is still being played right now.
Right.
And now so is Tomorrow. So shout out to Glow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what
Shout
I'm
out
saying.
to her. For real, that's my cousin. Not for real. That's my play cousin. Like I'm happy for her type stuff. Like, you know, you be happy for your
I know.
cousins.
I'm
That's what I
messing
mean.
with
That's
you.
all. Like, you know, you be happy for your
I was
cousins.
about to be like, "Oh, man, it's your cousin."
No. We ain't related. We ain't related. Make sure you keep that in there. We are not.
But I
related.
think that's a key point, man. Like you know, one thing I've learned and one thing I've seen, it's almost like a routine, like in sports. Like, you know, the LeBrons and all those people who win, you know, you start seeing the same patterns. You start seeing them in the same rooms. You start seeing them over and over again. And it's the same thing in this, you know. You start seeing Filthy Rich out. You see X out at certain places. You see Funky out at certain places. Like I said, Zay, Mike Will. You just see all these people in the same places. And the crazy thing about it is, we all out here like we ain't did nothing.
Right. Because that's what it takes.
Right.
Right.
Because we still working.
Yeah, because I think that's why I don't remember most of the records, because I literally do records and be like, what's next?
We on to the next.
Right.
It's on to the next. It's a moving piece of work. Like everything we do. Like when I look back at it now, I'm looking at 15 years and I'm going like, man, where did the time go? Like you talking about 08 and I'm going like, man, I seen a lot of rappers since 08. I seen a lot of artists since 08. You know what I mean? And I seen a lot of them. Some of them succeed. Some of them get moderate success. Some of them get good. They get received well. And then you see a lot of them go through what you see Thug, and you see I see a lot of good rappers go through the jail system. And this the funny part. I was telling Funky this today. We've been around long enough to see some of them go to jail and get out.
Yeah.
We just had one.
And get out and come back and go,
crazy.
let us kickstart your career again. You see what I'm saying?
There you go.
That's why I say the benefit of the DJs and what we do as an organization is real important. And I think like even having you here, you know, and seeing what you're doing, like as far as having hit records, just solidify that, hey man, listen, us working together and us all being in, you know, on the same page, we can continue to have the success we've been having in Atlanta for a long time.
Come on now.
That's it. So I think the message that we want to have is, because we dropped a lot of jewels like we always do, but really just, you got to remember why you got into the game and stay hungry. You know what I mean? Like you said, if I see Hanky at every event that I go to, if he sees me, if we see X everywhere, and we've been in the game forever, we still hungry, we still working. So that means the artists, y'all got to work just as hard as we do, because we see you when we don't see you. We notice when you're not around because we forget about you.
Man, y'all can't let Unc outwork you.
Can't let Unc outwork you. Step it up, nephews.
Let's go.
All right, man. This is the We Outside Show. Appreciate you coming through, Mr. Hanky.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. And when that project come, man, like I said, with that new Karma Rose, the
Yeah.
whole project coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got to come back and do New Music Monday.
Listen, I can't wait.
We
We got
all
that.
that.
We got our
Good
spring.
time.
We ain't calling it Spring Fest this year. We got something else coming up. And then we got all the stuff we do during the summer. So we definitely
South by
wanna-
Southwest. We got work to do.
Yeah, we coming back to South by Southwest like for the first time in what I think 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it big this year, South by Southwest.
I got to get me a Greyhound ticket. Get on out
Yeah.
there.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, listen, I'm gonna go and do something big at South by Southwest. I hadn't been in a while, so. And I used to live in Austin, Texas, so every
Okay.
time I go there,
Okay.
I try to go out my way to go big. You know what I'm saying? Last time I was there, we did Jeezy.
We did do Jeezy. That was crazy.
That was the last time we was there.
go crazy.
Yeah, whatever you do, man, put me on the sign me up.
Let's
All
do
right.
it. All right, man. Mr. Hanky's in the building. Karma Rose. We outside show. We'll see y'all next time. We out.